back to another episode of the Imagine More podcast, where we celebrate the dreamers, the doers, and the difference makers in our community. I'm your host, Rose Young, and today I have the privilege of sitting down with an extraordinary guest, someone whose impact in Moore County is felt far beyond the world of real estate. I bet you can guess who she is already. She's a leader, a mentor, a philanthropist, and an all-around remarkable woman. I'm talking about none other than Angela Thompson. Angela, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Rose.
Angela is a proud Moore County native, a top-tier real estate professional, and the 2025 president of the Mid-Carolina Association of Realtors, MLS. Her dedication to her clients, her team, and her community has set her apart as a true powerhouse. Today, we're diving into her journey, her wisdom, and what drives her success. Let's start at the beginning. You grew up on a tobacco and chicken farm in Vass. How did that upbringing shape your work ethic and the way you approach your career today?
Rose, have you ever been on a farm?
You know I have chickens, don't you?
I do.
But that's it.
Well, it's hard work. Chicken farm, well, my dad had 6 chicken houses, and the tobacco farm, my first job was walking behind a setter and planting the tobacco plants that were missed by the setters. So I think I was 4 or 5 years old walking behind a tobacco setter and dropping down. And my pay was, I think it was lunch at Ethel's Grill in Vass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good pay for a 5-year-old, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know any better.
What'd you have to do? What was the job?
That's whenever I walked behind the setter, I dropped down to my knees. I carried a whole handful or armful of tobacco plants, and if they missed one, then I had to plant one where they missed. So I had to walk the fields, walk behind the tractor. I didn't even get to ride.
Oh,
I had to walk. And then in the chicken farm, I had to walk in the chicken house to pick up dead chickens.
Oh, that's tough.
That's a hard job.
Oh, I bet.
Especially in the summer when it's hot and smelly.
Oh, is this a 5-year-old still?
No, this was a little older, probably 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have 5 chickens, so I'm sure it's a little bit different.
Oh, we had over 100,000, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And now,
every 6 weeks.
And you have chickens now, right?
Yes.
Quite a few?
Quite a few, but they're not in chicken houses.
Oh, that's right.
It's different.
Well, I know that you studied art, and you are still an artist now, but you went to Meredith College first, and then pursued graduate studies in sculpture at Purdue. And now you're a business owner. How did your artistic background influence your approach to real estate? And I'm really curious how you came around to real estate.
Yeah. Well, so the art was my dream. I wanted to be an artist. And I still do consider myself an artist, and I do get to practice my art. I like to weld. I like to go and hunt for old farm equipment and weld sculptures. I love it.
Oh.
I don't fix people's trucks. You know, every time I tell somebody that, especially men, that I'm a welder, they want me to fix their trailer or something.
Oh, really? First, they're impressed, though.
Yeah.
A woman welder.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. You said, go back to the question, sorry.
How did your art influence your business now, and how did you come around to real estate?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same as much as it is as far as it's different every day. No 2 days are the same in art or in real estate. It's ever evolving. There's things to learn, things to do. It's not boring. Every transaction is different in real estate. And the way I got into real estate from art is kind of a crazy story.
Oh, let's hear it.
I know you like stories.
I do.
I was at Purdue following a guy,
Ah.
a rocket scientist.
Really?
Yep. It didn't work out. So I came home. You know, I was the free spirit, wanting to get as far away from my parents and here, home, as I could. And now I live right next door to my mom and dad.
As it should be.
Yeah, I ended up basically leaving Indiana, leaving Purdue, and coming back, met a guy who I'm now married to for almost 19 years.
Wow.
With 3 kids.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it worked. And so I just took a job at a boutique firm outside of Woodlake to do administrative assistant. I was just looking for anything. And started a family while there, and the rest is history. You know, once you start the real estate, you know, I don't know many people that get into real estate and are successful with it that get out of it. I think it's like the Hotel California.
Is there really? So in 2007, you got into real estate. Now, was that actually selling, or is that still your assistant job?
Yeah, I was doing brochures. I was, you know, the creative stuff.
That is creative, yes, I see that.
We didn't have as much in social media back then. I was doing flyers and brochures and putting things together to market, basically. I was doing marketing.
Okay, and then in 2012, boom, you're Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, just like that. Boom. No, 2010, I was licensed and hit the ground running. I had big shoes to fill, and I like a challenge. I'm competitive.
What was that first year like for you?
My first client, I'll tell you about that. It was a townhouse at Woodlake, and the first client, and he's still a friend, he and his parents walked in the door on a weekend that I was working, and I ended up selling him a townhouse and walking through the whole process with him. And the review he left me on Google, I'll never forget it. He said, Angela was so attentive to everything that I needed. She answered my phone calls every time I called. It was like I was the only person she was working with.
It was?
It truly was.
That's so funny. So how did you set yourself apart, Angela?
I don't know the answer to that. I just was being me, trying to help people. I want to help people. If somebody asked me a question and I didn't know the answer, and if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go find it. Not going to tell you something. And I'm not a car salesman. I'm not going to make you buy or talk you into something that is not right for you. And we do needs analysis and buyer consultation. That's very lengthy. I ask in detail. You know, if somebody's looking for a big yard, well, what does that look like? Rose, what does a big yard look like for somebody who's coming from New York City that's been living in an apartment?
Right.
It's probably not that big. Yeah. But if you ask somebody who's coming from Kansas, out on a ranch, a big backyard, and why do you need a big backyard? Is it because you have a Chihuahua or,
right.
some Great Danes? Everything is subjective to everyone. And so you have to dive deep into the questions that you ask the client so that I can get a better idea of what it is they're looking for. And the same thing on the listing side. Why are you moving?
Right.
What are your needs? What are you looking for? Because it's not always money. It may be time. Maybe they're wanting to sell so they can be back closer to family. How quickly do they have to be there?
Right.
Money may not be. It's not always the top contender. It's not always what everybody needs first.
That's interesting. So you really talk to them and listen to them, and that's what sets you apart.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to 2020. You were honored as the Culture Ambassador for the Carolinas region of Keller Williams Realty. What does that recognition mean to you, and how do you bring culture and community into your team?
That was probably one of the biggest surprises. Not in a like, I didn't do anything to get it, but in the way that it feels good. That feels good because to be a cultural ambassador for Keller Williams or for any company, that means you have to do something to give back, right?
Right.
And so I've done hurricane relief efforts, and that's what it was whenever I became the cultural ambassador. And also well, in 2020, there was hurricane relief efforts that I had done in, I think it was 2018, 2019, Harvey, Florence, Matthew. I had traveled to Houston and then in Wilmington, and then some of my own neighbors, 45 people, lost their homes in Lobelia in Moore County.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people still don't even realize that.
No.
So we started a nonprofit. But also after that was COVID, and my mom and I sewed, I think, over 400 masks for the nursing homes and the hospitals and stuff. So,
I kind of remember that when you were selling the mask and doing the mask.
yeah, we sewed them, and people were door dropping. Remember that? Gosh, it seems like forever ago. Door dropping fabric and materials so that we could sew masks. So it's just something else to do. I was at home. What were we going to do? You know,
Right.
I did some Zoom calls and videos, and as realtors, we were still what was it that they called it? Essential. We were still essential
so you still
workers.
got to go out.
Yes, that was one of my busiest years. I mean, people still had to buy and sell.
Isn't that interesting?
I know it was crazy times.
So I know that you were really big with the West North Carolina this year when they had their tragedy. Tell me the things that you did up that way.
Well, our office, we collected supplies, and that was anything from water to gas tanks. We had a trailer that we used that had a big gas tank on it that we took gas up. Our first trip was to Swannanoa, and I had the experience from demucking houses during hurricanes. I thought,
Right.
hey, let's go. Let's go demuck some houses, see how we can help. Just anything to help. It becomes something that once you know how to do it, you want to do it. And my husband knows me now that anytime there's a hurricane and disaster, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
He knows, and he supports it. But when we pulled into Swannanoa, Rose, the houses were washed away, so there was nothing to demuck. So it was different than anything I had ever seen, and it was pretty emotional. And we drove around. We filled up people's gas tanks. We took food, water, propane tanks for their grills, and clothes, blankets, just all the supplies. But it wasn't just me or my office. It was this whole community came together,
Right.
Those disasters happen, and you see people come together, and it's a beautiful thing.
I love that about our community. We do come together when people are in need.
Yeah, and it was huge. We were driving, I took 4 or 5 trips up there, and one time we were headed back and looked over, and I remember seeing Mike Crumpler pass us on the road. And so we were texting and calling him, and we met up with him at the gas station and filled up together. And it was nice to know,
wow.
If you're driving and you're hauling a trailer, somebody else in Moore County. There were so many people going back and forth.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for us.
So, yeah, it was.
So did you see, as you were going up each time, did you see improvement in the area, or was it just too far gone?
Well, every time we went to a different location. So I went to another Keller Williams agent's home in Asheville, or right outside of Asheville, the same time that we went to Swannanoa. And then we went to Burnsville, actually twice to Burnsville, and it was 2 different locations. But you could still see that there was work or cleanup being done. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah. When is the last time that you've been up there?
At Christmas.
At Christmas.
Right before Christmas, I went with my church. My daughter and I went with our church and took a lot of supplies up, like tents and camping supplies, because it was snowing.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. It's so scary. What are the people like? How did they react when here you come with this big trailer full of stuff?
They're grateful. And they're just so happy to see somebody and help. I don't know, it's a really nice thing to see and be a part of.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, all this service that you've done, how do you bring that back into your culture and your business? with your team?
Yeah, well, our team when we sit down and do a buyer consultation or a listing consultation, all of our clients know that we give back a portion of our commission to local nonprofits. And we have a list of some that we work with on the regular: Sand Hills Adult and Teen Challenge, the Moore County chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. There's Family Promise and several military organizations, different ones. And if there's something that somebody loves, one of our clients loves, then they tell us, and we donate usually a certain percentage, but usually around $100 to $200 every closing to that organization. Santana Center, the Horse Rescue.
We have a lot of them around here.
Yes, we do. There's always a need.
There's always a need. As part of Keller Williams' luxury community on the other side, which focuses on high-end properties, what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of working in luxury real estate?
Yeah, luxury, we're newer to luxury because I started out selling lots. We talked about that. Luxury in Moore County is anything that's $750,000 and above. And I do have a few spec builders that are building high-end spec homes that are over $1 million.
Really?
Which is nice to see that market. And the service that we provide to our luxury clients is more of a concierge service. Most of them are coming from out of town, so they're going to be visiting and staying in hotels. And so we might do some little pop-by gifts, let them know, maybe wine and dine them, take them to dinner, show them the area. They have appointments usually if they're looking in a gated community with the pro shop or with the clubhouse or for membership. Just more information, but more of a concierge.
More of a concierge. Well, what kind of people are moving? Because I know we have an influx of people coming to us. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, we just did the Moore County Housing Summit.
Oh, I saw that, but I didn't get to attend.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And they gave us information, all the data. There was a huge study basically all up the corridor from here to Greensboro. And the numbers are basically that people are moving here. A lot of higher corporate companies are looking in the area. And so the high-end homes that we didn't have a lot of that. Our high-end was tops around $1 million, and we didn't have a lot of them.
Okay.
And now our average price point in Moore County is over $459,000. I know it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And up, but we have cash buyers moving from the big cities.
Okay.
So they're coming from California, New Jersey, Chicago, New York, and they're selling their big multi-million-dollar homes, and they can get so much more bang for their buck in Moore County.
Oh, yeah.
A big house they can pay cash for, and then have money left over to live off of.
Now, are these retirees? What's our demographic now?
Some of both. We have some professionals for sure.
Okay.
Doctors. Some of the companies that are moving to this area.
Wow. I know that our demographics have changed so much just since I've been here, and I've only been here since 2017, and I've seen a big influx of families coming in. How does that affect families when they're trying to find a house and, they can't afford the $1 million too?
That's the problem right now.
That's the problem.
Our inventory for the lower price points, and when I say lower price points, if our average price point is $450,000,
right?
Your first-time home buyers, your teachers, your firefighters, those are the ones that we don't have any inventory for. Anything under 300 right now is almost impossible to find. And if we do find something, most of it needs a lot of work.
Oh,
so. The builders are building more of the higher price points because they don't have to worry about financing. we met with a builder last week that their spec homes, they are focusing on $1 million and up because those are cash buyers. And there seems to be plenty of those.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the younger first-time home buyers and professionals that are just starting, just graduating college or whatnot, they can't afford. They have student loans, and with
Children
higher interest rates, it makes it very difficult. So we're seeing a lot of multifamily, and well, not multifamily units, but people that are moving or staying with their parents, or looking at, I want to call them compounds, but these little mini farms where they can put a house with a granny house or she shed on it.
Do you have any advice for these first-time home buyers?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Whenever I bought my first house, my interest rate was 8%.
Really, ours was 10%. We were just thinking of that the other day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now it's in the sixes. So.
And that sounds really high, 6% to us now because of before, right?
Yeah. But the cost of living has gone up, and everything else is expensive. So, yeah, we don't want to get on that tangent.
So what's the advice?
The advice is to go ahead and get qualified. I think a lot of people don't realize that they could qualify to buy a house. They hear high interest rate, and they don't realize that there's options. There's buy downs until you could do a 3-2-1 buy down, and there's negotiating. You can get closing costs paid, or repairs, or negotiate off the price for homes that are sitting, because we don't have as many homes in that price point. There's not a whole lot, but the ones that are there have sat on the market for a little while in different areas. We have different niche markets in Moore County. Okay. Some areas are still, you put something on the market and it goes under contract with multiple offers in days, and then you have other areas that it might sit for 3 months. So.
Okay. Well, Pinehurst is probably one of those that jump right off the market.
Pinehurst and Whispering Pines.
And Whispering Pines. Really, Whispering Pines? That surprises me.
Yep.
Huh. Is it because, are they building in Whispering Pines, or is there anywhere to go, or is it the lake? What is it about Whispering Pines?
I think it's the lifestyle. It's a little bit outside of town, so they think not so much traffic. It's a good school zone, or school district, not school zone. So it's Sand Hills Farm Life Schools and Union Pines High School. It's lifestyle. People want to go, and a lot of our military like to be in communities with their friends.
Right. So it's a big military area.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know that when we bought this house, there were multiple offers, and people were like, going $10,000 over, $20,000 over asking price. Is that going on right now?
No.
What market is it now?
I'm so glad we were not in that market. That was not fun as a realtor, I can tell you.
Okay.
You have to write so many offers for clients and then give them the bad news if they didn't get it, and they were offering so much above and paying so much due diligence. Now our market is, we're kind of moving towards a balance and quickly going towards a buyer's market. So we've been in a seller's market. We've been in a seller's market, since 2019, and during all the crazy times, like whenever you bought, and with the multiple offers and people paying way too much and way over, and that was low interest rates.
Yeah, low interest rates.
Yeah. So now we're about 3 months average inventory. So that means if nothing were to go on the market, nothing else comes on the market for sale, it would take 3 months to sell everything. And in some areas, it's 4 or even 5 months. Once we hit the 5-month mark, it shifts to a buyer's market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good for those of you looking to buy. Just hold on, it's coming.
Well,
we're hoping.
Yeah. I don't know what I can't say anything about the interest rates, though.
No.
So
So someone told me, it was actually a banker the other day, that he bought his house for 2% interest rate.
yeah,
It
I
was
refinanced
2%.
mine at 2.5.
Oh
so
my gosh. Will we
Yeah.
ever see those times again?
I don't think so.
No. So you're stepping into a big leadership role in 2025 as the president of the Mid-Carolina Association of Realtors, MLS. What are some of your goals for this position, and how do you see it shaping the future of real estate in our region?
Yeah, this has been fun being part of the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service, and being on the board. And this year as president, we are working really closely and collaborating with the Moore County home builders and other elected officials on land use, anything that we can do to help our property owners protect their rights. With so much growth and the need, we have to collaborate with the economic development and the officials, the elected officials, so everybody knows what's going on. So
Right.
we have to communicate and work together so that we can grow in a good way.
Yes.
Because with the infrastructure, making sure that schools, there's so much that goes on with development, and
Right.
that's also been very interesting to learn.
Really, yeah. What has been your biggest shocker?
I've gotten into a little bit of the political world, which has been fun. I have a role this year as a state political coordinator, meaning that I will have the opportunity to work with one of our representatives and give them information once bills are brought forward that might have to do with property owners' rights. And so that, and then we want to create an organization that is similar with our local elected officials,
Yes.
called an LPC, so a
Okay.
local political coordinator. So,
Okay. And so how do we keep up on all these things and the changes that are going on?
I think that we're all watching the news.
A lot of news watching.
Yes, and the newspapers. And I mean, if you find out something, that you can let me know. If you see something, and ask questions.
Ask questions. That's
And-
great advice.
Yeah, it's okay to ask questions and see what's going on, and attend these meetings, the town hall meetings with each town.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot going to one of those.
People who know you often say you go above and beyond for your clients and community, that you'd give the shirt off your back to help someone. And we've heard some of that already today. Where does that generosity come from?
Well, as I mentioned before, my parents have done a lot in the community, and I've kind of followed in their footsteps, and even being part with Keller Williams.
Oh, okay.
They are really big in giving back. I mean, we close down our offices worldwide every second Thursday in May to give back and do service projects in the community. And
Is that the red shirt? Is
The
that-
Red Day.
Okay, Red
Yes.
Day. Okay, tell us what is on your books for this year.
Well, we haven't decided for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We have interviewed, and we've talked to St. Hills Adult and Teen Challenge, and I'm thinking that's where we're going to be, working along with them to help get their facilities up to what it needs to be. That's a really great organization that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard of it when you said it just now.
Yeah, so they are, they work with young men that have substance abuse or addiction, and they have a huge turnaround or success. What is it,
Okay.
like 92%? I
Oh,
think is
wow, that
what they
is.
had said. So, yeah.
Oh, that's
They
wonderful.
do really awesome things.
And it's just young men.
Yep. They also are building a women's facility
Okay.
and are working on a military facility.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like they do need your help then.
Oh, yeah.
So you've built a successful career while also leading a team and doing all the other things that you do, Angela. What's your leadership philosophy, and how do you foster growth and success in the people that work with you?
So the people that work with me, they come to me because they see people on our team and how happy they are. I think that people want to be on our team. And
Why? Why do they want to be on your team?
Because we give flexibility. I know I work with a lot of mothers. Right now, everyone on our team, we've had guys, so it's okay, guys. We'll take guys on our team too, but right now we have all women, all mothers, and some military spouses. So it's hard being a mom and working, and there needs to be flexibility. And sometimes that's more important than the pay, or not more. I mean, it's a huge thing to have flexibility and feel like, you know what, if I'm having a bad day or my kid's having a bad day, my kid is sick or anything that's going on that they need to be at home, they know that if they're getting their job done, then that's okay. And if they have anything going on, they're going to call me. We have an open communication. We talk. We support one another. We have we work on goals with each one, not just their goals in our business, but their goals, their own personal financial goals. So I think I mentioned to you before that I think I often want more for them than they want for themselves.
Yeah. So
that can be hard.
Between your people, how do you get them to come together and be a team? Do they talk to each other and help each other, or is it all coming to you? Or
no, I like to empower women.
I love
empower
that.
each other. I mean,
Empower
again,
each other.
if there are men on our team, we'll empower them too.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
We get together, like I said, and we do goal planning, and we talk, we communicate. So leverage. I trust them. They trust me, and they know that. And that did take a while. They would ask me questions. Well, is it okay if I do this, or do you want me to do this? And once I've leveraged something to someone, I have to let it go. I'm not a micromanager. I cannot stand to be micromanaged.
Me either.
Ugh, it's the worst.
That's my pet peeve.
Don't give me a job and then stand over me.
Right, exactly. And tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Yes. It's the worst.
So I know that real estate is constantly evolving, and I can see that just from outside looking in. What advice do you have for others looking to build a long-term career in this field?
Yeah, start early.
Start early.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten in real estate at age 18.
Instead of going to art school?
Well, you're right. I wouldn't trade that for anything. It was a great experience. But the real estate is something that it's the profession that you can make as much money as you want. You do have to work. There's a lot of hard work in it. However, with that hard work and investment comes such great reward. And it's been rewarding for my family, and I'm so grateful.
And then I want to work on your team, say, but I don't have the money to go and take my real estate license.
Yep.
Can I get help?
Absolutely. So Keller Williams offers a scholarship. It's K-Score. And it's all online at your pace, and we have coaching through it.
Oh, good.
And then training afterwards. Keller Williams is known as the #1 training company of all companies. I think, I know in the U.S. anyway. So it's a great place to come and learn and get your real estate license, job shadow. We have internships available.
Oh, tell me about that, the internships.
So I just had some military that was an agent. Well, she's an agent now. She was transitioning from the military and retiring, and got the K-Score and did the scholarship. And while she was doing that and working for the military, she did an internship with me or with our team, and we have steps where they learn everything there is. They go to the trainings that are offered at Keller Williams, and they job shadow, and have roles that they can be on the team or do on the team as far as, we'll give them projects.
Right.
And so it's on the job learning as an internship, and we also have paid internships for even high school students. You have to be 18 to have a real estate license. However, you can be in the class and learning. You could start that at 17.
Okay. Don't you work with teens and programs? Tell me a little bit about that.
As far
as your CTE students?
Moore County CTE, the Career Technical Education, Moore County Schools, that they work within the community, and it's technical. So not every kid is going to graduate high school and go away to college. No. So there's fields, and real estate is one that somebody could just come right into, and it's not as expensive as a 4-year degree to get into real estate. You know, I mean, there are definitely costs involved, but if you do the K-score and get into training, you can have a career pretty quickly after graduation. So,
and in real estate, I think you told me before that you can make as much as you want depending on how hard you want to work. Is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know that you love to walk the land.
I do. Well, growing up on a farm.
That's right.
I know a lot of farmers too. So, and it's been, I guess, interesting to watch a lot of the farms that were around, turn into developments. That's been a little hard.
I was going to ask.
There's been a lot going on.
Does that hurt your heart when you see that? Or?
There's been a lot of changes with land use, and that's also with the growth that's coming. We can't stop it.
No.
It's coming.
It's coming.
We can be better and better prepared.
Right.
And I also want to help say a family just inherits their parents' farm. They're not going to farm. They should be able to sell the land for its best use. And that's it's a hard place to be whenever I don't want to see a development with 50 homes or 60 homes right behind my house.
Right.
And there's always going to be somebody that doesn't want something, and maybe pushing the development back into the towns. And so it's all about education, and that's the fun part.
Now, how do you think Moore County's doing on that end?
We're struggling just like everybody else is, and that's why we're all wanting to work together. There's been great leaps of collaboration, and I'm seeing a lot of wonderful things coming from people getting together and talking it out and coming up with ideas and masterminding.
I think that you just hit the nail on the head when you said you see great strides when people come together, collaborate, talk it out. I think that's what we all need to listen to right now.
Yeah, for everything, and not just be in our own feelings.
That's right. So what's next for you, both professionally and personally?
I'm enjoying learning about development. Not saying that I want to do huge developments or anything. I love learning and growth and building my team. And then personally, also investing. Personally, I want to be able to invest more into real estate. Mm-hmm. And there's still that art.
There's still the art.
Yeah. I'd like to take a day off every once in a while and go in the shop and get away. No, I haven't. And actually, it's been longer than it should be.
So do you have sculptures that you've welded about your property, or what do you do with them after you do them?
I'm not my biggest collector, Rose.
No? Do you sell them, give them away?
I used to. I used to sell at it wasn't Artworks. It was Artist Alley in downtown Southern Pines, which is now where Jean Skipper has its Artworks in Vass. That's where she was years ago.
Okay.
Actually, it's where Chapman's.
Oh, no kidding.
That used to be Artist Alley. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
2005. 2006, 7. It was when my kids were babies. Yeah, 7. Cecilia was born in 07.
So you have 3 kids. What are their ages?
I know.
You've answered every other question.
No, Cecilia just turned 18. Callie's.
Wow, you have an 18-year-old?
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Time flies. She's going to be going away to college. And guess what for?
Art.
Yep.
And then she's going to come back and get in real estate, right?
No, I hope not. Actually, she says that she's not.
Okay.
My kids see how hard I work, and I think that they don't want to do real estate. I kind of hope that they do see it as, well, Callie's talked about it. She's like, well, if nothing else works. Callie's 16, and then Hatch is 11, almost 11.
I
He'll
can't
be
believe
11
Hatch
next
is
month.
already 11.
He will be, coming up next month.
Oh, wow. This has been such an insightful and inspiring conversation, Angela. Before we wrap up, how can people connect with you if they want to work with you or just learn more?
Yeah, I would love for people to reach out. You can reach out on our website, angelathompsongroup.com, and you can also find me on Facebook.
Okay. So, as promised, any person that agrees to come on my podcast gets a jingle. So here you go. When you're looking for a home, we'll find the best for you. The Angela Thompson Group will make your dreams come true. With Keller Williams by your side, a team that you can trust. Your perfect home is waiting. Don't leave home without us.
I love it.
It's all yours.
So good.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Imagine More podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep doing, and as always, imagine more.